Ciao, I'm Mario, a Swiss car guy on YouTube, and this is a BMW. This is my friend Emmanuel's car, and this is kind of his ideal family car. This is a diesel, it's a 525D, and it is a manual. It's a touring, which means it's a wagon. And today I'm not just going to drive and review this car, no, I will also make a cost of ownership calculation. And since this is going to be a longer subject, I will split this video up. So basically there will be two videos on this wonderfully looking car. One is the review and the other part is the cost of ownership part. So now it's time for the cost of ownership part. So here I am sitting in the trunk of the car for some reason with the stack of receipts I got and of course a little spreadsheet that I made. So let me start with the spreadsheet. So this car was purchased in December of 2016 for 11,900 francs. And by the way, 1 Swiss franc is about 95 US dollar cent and about €1.03, right around there. So basically you can exchange it one to one and have a good idea of what stuff costs. Also, I want to remind you that this is Switzerland, so everything is going to be more expensive than other places in the world. In fact, an hour at the garage is, I think, between 140 and 180 Swiss francs. So it's quite expensive. And this car, as these receipts indicate, since my friend bought it, actually all the work has always been done at the BMW dealership, which probably might not be the cheapest option out there. But anyway, that's it. Let's start. So the car was bought in December of 2016 for 11,900 francs. Right after that, in January 2017, my friend bought something that's very, very good to have. He bought a warranty. He spent 842 francs on the warranty, and it's a quality one AGVS premium warranty. Basically, it's a warranty that covers everything a manufacturer warranty would cover for 1 year. Then he did a service in January also, because apparently the car wasn't freshly serviced when he bought it. The service cost him 981 francs. Oh, he bought the car with 104,000 kilometers, by the way. Then, next item is in September 2017. In September 2017, he actually shattered the rear glass. This was his fault, this was an insurance thing. It cost 1,475 francs, but the insurance paid for it. Then in September of 2017, at 115,000 kilometers, he did an AC service and also replaced a wiper blade and a bit of fluids and stuff like that. That cost him 337 francs. In October of 2017, since the drivetrain was making noises, the rear axle was replaced. The axle itself cost 2,555 francs in exchange, and the total work came down to 3,270 francs, which my friend didn't have to pay for because he had the warranty. So the warranty already paid for itself and then some. A month later, the noises were still there, so the drive shaft was replaced, and that cost about 1,100 francs, and with work it was 1,479 francs. Again, paid for by the warranty. In December of 2017, the fuel door wouldn't open properly, so they replaced the mechanism that releases it and the spacers, the rubber spacer things. Also, the radio button wasn't nice anymore, the rubber had peeled off, so they replaced that as well. That cost 43 francs in total. Again, in December 2017, since stuff wasn't right with the hatch here, the wiring harness was replaced, and that cost 2,252 francs. Again, that was paid for by the insurance because it must have broken with replacing the windshield and stuff like that, so my friend didn't have to pay for this. But there were a few smaller items and consumables that were not covered, so my friend had to pay 46 francs out of his own pocket. That's worse, isn't there? In February of 2018, at 123,163 kilometers, the front left headlight and the control unit had to be replaced because he broke it, accident and stuff, and then because the headlight was broken, water went into the control unit and broke that as well. So all in all, this was 2,390 francs, which was covered by the insurance, because headlight braking, it's a glass insurance, so no cost for my friend. Then in March of 2018, the car had to do its periodic inspection. So he brought it to garage, they prepared the car for the inspection, and they brought it to the inspection. They had to replace 2 stabilizer links at 140 bucks each. All in all, this cost 755 francs. In July of 2018, at 125,888 kilometers, my friend had to replace the turbo, because he was on holidays and then the car didn't run well anymore and problems. So during his holidays he had to replace the turbo, and that means 2,000 francs for the turbo, 2,000 francs for the work, and he also had the shock absorbers in the rear replaced at the same time, because apparently they were due. So all in all, this cost him a healthy 5,976 francs. That is the biggest ticket item on this list. In January 2019, at 128,612 kilometers, he had another service done and a xenon bulb replaced. The bulb alone cost 180 francs, but the service and this bulb replacement cost him 1,554 francs. In June of 2019, at 130,711 kilometers, the passenger side mirror needed fixing and the iDrive button needed replacing, because it wasn't nice anymore, and you know, the rubber wears off, the buttons become ugly. Also, there was some windscreen washing fluid and other miscellaneous stuff. All in all, it came to 291 Swiss francs. In January of 2020, at 134,252 kilometers, he had the hood struts replaced and the battery. The battery alone cost 380 Swiss francs and the struts were 80 francs each, so not cheap. All in all, with labor, 815 francs. In October of 2020, he had the wheels changed for 104 francs, and this is actually the only wheel change he had a bill for. The other ones he doesn't have, and we're going to count for them later on. In December of 2020, he had a large service with brake fluid and filters and everything. It cost 928 francs. Then in February of 2021, the car was due for another periodic inspection. So the garage prepared the car and brought it to the inspection. It cost 586 francs. The last repair or service item so far was in February of 2022, when the DPF filter wasn't working anymore. It was giving him the DPF light on the dashboard, and so he had the DPF filter cleaned, a new thermostat and a new AGR thermostat put in, and also there was also a pressure sensor that was 150 bucks that was put in. The cleaning of the DPF, of the diesel particulate filter, was 400 bucks. All in all, this job was 1,385 francs. It was at 140,000 kilometers. And that's it. He will add 10 wheel changes, wheel swaps, summer, winter, at 100 bucks each. That's another 1,000 bucks. Then he bought a set of summer tires for 840 francs fitted and a set of winter tires for 880 francs fitted. So all in all, this is what he spent on maintenance and repairs. 28,229 francs, or 5,328 francs per year, or 65 cents per kilometer. But wait a minute, you say. There were insurance items on this list and there were warranty items. That's right. And I certainly wouldn't want to count the insurance items, because this is accidental damage. It could happen to any car and to anybody. We just listed it because it was interesting to know how much, a back glass costs to replace. But without the insurance cost, he's at 23,747 francs, and without the warranty, he's at 18,998 francs. So 18,998 francs is what he actually had to pay out of his own pocket. That's 3,585 francs per year and 44 cents per kilometer. Next up is taxes. The car costs 668 francs per year to tax in the canton of Zurich. That's 3,539 francs for the 5 years and, a quarter about that he owns the car, which is 8 cents per kilometer, even though this doesn't really matter. Insurance is 1,233 francs and 50 cents per year. So in the period he's owned the car, it's 6,536 francs. Then it's fuel. He doesn't have detailed fuel records the way I do it, but he reckons that he fuels the car up once a month. So once a month, 60 liters at 1 franc 90 will be 5,700 francs. And we come down to a consumption of 6.9 liters per 100 kilometers, or 34.1 miles per gallon US, or 40 miles per gallon imperial. And I think that's probably a bit high. I think most likely his consumption is a bit lower, because if I look at other cars of the same model with the same engine, they seem to sit around 6.5 liters. So probably these figures are a bit inflated, but I think they are within 15%, let's say, ballpark. So therefore, pretty accurate. It also depends on your profile. He drives a lot in the city, but then again, if you drive very fast, if you drive a lot of city, you will consume more. But anyway, I think ballpark, we are there. It's about 1,000 francs in fuel a year, or 13 cents per kilometer. This gives us running costs of 15,775 francs, or 2,977 francs per year, or 36 cents per kilometer. So if we add the running costs with maintenance and repairs, we get the cost of ownership. But even here we have cost of ownership without what the insurance paid, cost of ownership without what the warranty paid. So all in all, the cost of ownership on this car was 44,000 francs. But if we detract the insurance and we detract the warranty, we're at 34,773 francs, which is pretty nice because, wow, insurance and warranty paid out like 11 grand almost, like 10 grand. That's not bad. But cost of ownership without warranty, 34,773, which is 6,563 francs per year, or 80 cents per kilometer. So if we want to calculate the total cost of ownership, we need to know what's the residual value on this car. And my friend looked it up because he has access to the dealer valuation tool there. And the tool gives a residual value for the car of 5,225 francs, which I think is probably all right. I mean, there are not that many cars of these on the market, but the ones I've seen, they had much higher mileage and they were around 4.5 grand. So I think 5.5 grand is about right. That gives us a depreciation of 6,675 francs, or 1,260 francs per year, or 15 cents per kilometer. And that leads us to the total cost of ownership, and that's without warranty. It's 41,448 francs, 7,822 francs per year, or 96 cents per kilometer. If we look at the figure per kilometer, it's quite high, 96 cents, but the car has not been driven that much. I mean, it made 43,000 kilometers in little more over 5 years. So if you drove it more, most likely that figure would be lower. Funnily enough, at 96 francs per kilometer, this diesel wagon was more expensive to own than my Mercedes SL55 AMG with a 5.4 liter supercharged V8. At just under 8 grand per year, it's cheaper than my GTR to own, but not cheaper than, for example, my 500 SL. Of course, nothing beats the Porsche 996 Turbo, which appreciated instead of depreciating. So that car will always be cheap, no matter what you compare it with. But there you have it. This is the total cost of ownership of what I consider to be sort of a normal car, a family car, something with a diesel engine, something that doesn't have 500 million horsepower. And yes, it's been 41,000 francs, or almost 8 grand per year, or almost 1 franc per kilometer, which I think is quite high. So what do you think? Is this normal for a car to cost like this? Or is it because it's Switzerland? Or is this because it's a BMW? Because even if he didn't have the insurance, if he didn't have the warranty, it would have been even higher. It would have spent over 50 grand, and that would have been 9.5 grand a year, or 1 franc and 17 per kilometer, which would have been ridiculously expensive. Also, one item is not mentioned on here, because this car recently has had a chip tuning. So it brought the power up from 197 horsepower to like 230, which I think is a bad idea, because he already replaced the turbos once, and you know, this is like gambling. But anyway, he did it, and I reckon it cost like 300 or 400 francs. So this is missing here, but then again, this is not something you need, it's something he did. It's probably good, he likes it, it makes the car more drivable, but you know, I don't know about reliability, especially since he plans on keeping this car a long time, because as I mentioned, this is a manual diesel BMW wagon. It's exactly the combination he wanted, and he said it's very, very hard to find another one on the market, and I agree, because there are very, very few of them, and most of them have intergalactic mileage. This car is at 147,000 right now, so it's not that high, even though it's been quite expensive to own it. Anyway, that's it for this cost of ownership on this car. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos in this style in the future, and also comment down below, what do you think of this car? Do you think it's unreliable? Do you think it's good? Do you think these are great cars? Please post your experience down below, and otherwise, if you like this video, please leave a like. Consider following me on Instagram at SwissCarGuyMario, and this is the end of the video. This car has self-leveling suspension, I just realized, because the compressor went on and the rear went up. This is funny. Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Hey, if you are a bit of a car nerd and have detailed records on your car, please share them with me, because I'd like to make videos about it, unless you want to do them yourself and make all this very, very large YouTube money that allows you to drive fancy cars such as diesel BMWs. But anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day.